Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Same Bet. Tonight's episode, we're going to do another head-to-head competition, but it's not really a competition. It's just showing off two different strategies. One for a $15 table and one for a friend of mine. In addition, we're going to be taking a look at some of the slow motion video and we're going to see a lot of opportunities for improvement. Check it out. So we have a lot going on this particular episode. I probably took on too much for one show, but I wanted to do a couple of different things. You know, about July 3rd, July 4th or so, I did an episode on the One Hit Can't Miss, and I was doing it on a $5 table. A lot of people said, hey, that's just not realistic now, so let's see what it would do on a $15 table. So we're doing that. On the right side, the overhead shot, that's going to be the One Hit Can't Miss. On the left side, however, I am going to do another $5 strategy or $5 table strategy. It's one that Morton Loban, had sent to me and asked me to try it out. Okay, so you guys know the One Hit Can't Miss. It's a don't pass and the 6 and the 8, and we'll go in more detail on that in a minute. But the Morton Loban, the one he wanted me to try, was $32 across. A Dewey don't on the pass line and the don't pass line. And then you press the first win, no matter what number it is, you keep pressing until you hit a second time on any one number. And then you take all of your place bets down and you wait for the point to be resolved. Okay? Simple strategy. So we want to see how well it's going to do. A couple of other things that I'm working on in this video. I have the slow motion camera set up and I'm still trying to find what is the right angle, what's the right shutter speeds or whatever they call that. I still don't have it quite right. So don't criticize too much when you see these slow motion shots. Trying to learn it basically. And then you can see right there, I'm actually using a dice gripper, trying to, hone in on some skills and see if that makes any difference at all. Okay, here we go. Here we're watching it. Let's watch this slow motion shot. All right, not too bad. So the dice stayed together pretty well in the air, and I didn't recognize there it is, a 2-1-3. Doesn't mean anything to the One Hit Can't Miss or the other strategy for that matter. But anyways, so that's what I'm working on. I've got the One Hit Can't Miss, Morton Loban strategy, working on my dice setting, and some slow motion all in this one video. Let's see how it turns out. I am using the hard way set, the 5-4-5-4. There we go. That's a 6-5 yo. Here we go in the slow motion. Now what I'm looking for in this is actually my release. Did you see that? I just did that with my hand. That's bad. At least it's bad from my training. Shouldn't be doing that at all. And that very well could be why I'm not getting consistent results right now. All right, so that yo didn't win any money on either side. We just shoot him again. All right, here we go. Dice are out. Okay, we hit the chips. Okay, result, it was 6-2-8. Here's the slow motion replay. And I'm not quite as bad that time. I was about like that, and the dice should just sort of, by the centrifugal force or whatever you want to call it, should just pull away from my fingers, okay? That's what I'm trying to do. So that was an 8. We are going to win $21. And on the One Hit Can't Miss, you got to rack that first one. Otherwise, it's not a One Hit Can't Miss. So there's $21. Put it in our rack, and then we'll move to the other side of the table. And we're going to win $7 for that. And with Morton's strategy, he asked us to press the first time. So if I win another 8, if I roll another 8, we'll collect the $14, and we take down all of those place bets. So we're going to lock up the win, and we're also going to protect the bankroll. All right, here we go. Dice are out. A 9. Here we go on the replay. Now, I think I overdid the replays. All right, so you can't see the dice, but it was a 639. Nothing is going to get paid on the one hit can't miss, but we are going to win on the place bet on the Loban strategy. Yeah, so I would like some feedback from anybody that happens to be viewing it. The slow motion, how much of it do you want to really see? It's helpful to me, and it seems like it's a popular segment, but is it too much? Here we go. And another 9, back-to-back 9s. All right, let's watch the release. Ah, look at that, I did it again. See, that's why it's beneficial to me as a shooter, looking at my own shots. I highly encourage you, if you have the ability to record yourself, you're gonna see things that you probably didn't know was happening. I had no idea that I was, sock puppeted like that. It's crazy. All right, so we had already pressed the 9. So this is where we pay it. We got paid $14, and we take everything down. All of those place bets, the only thing that we're gonna have up there is the do we don't. We got $5 in the pass line, $5 in the don't pass. And it's just gonna be a wash. No matter what, at the end, it's gonna be a wash. So, is this something I would play? Probably not, only because I think I would get bored, especially as the shooter, knowing that, okay, I'm not gonna make anything on this. It's just practice. But I guess there are some cases where it might be beneficial. If you are trying to, I guess, get a feel for the table, the do we don't is a good strategy. If the casino will allow you to play it without any other bets out there, because there's no money in action, no real action. The action actually came in your come out roll. The only number you would lose with is a 12. And you would lose the pass line, and the don't pass is a push. Okay, here we go. Another shot. And we got a 7. All right, well, we didn't have to wait very long. Okay, I didn't really see anything horribly wrong with that particular shot. Stayed on axis. It did stray a little bit further away than I would like to see. But it ended up on axis. It just happened to be the 7. Hey, real quick, while we're resetting all of the bets, take this opportunity to hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to ring the bell and get notified of any new videos that I'm putting out. Thanks. All right, so here we go. We're going to do another shooter. We have the do we don't on this side. We have $15 in the don't pass on the other side. Remember, it's a $15 table on the right side. Now, this dice gripper, I can't show it, to be honest with you. I can't show more than what you're seeing right here. I'll come back to that here in just a second. Okay, so we had a 5. Here's the slow-mo. All right, it didn't look too bad. Yeah, so the plans for this particular dice gripper, it came as part of a program that I had bought, and agreed not to give away any of the details on how to make it. But be honest with you guys, do a Google search. You're going to see about 500 of them, and it's not something that requires an engineering degree to put together. You can pretty much figure this one out. All right, so here we go. We're set up with our 32 across again. Our do we don't on the don't pass and the pass line. Dice are moving. All right. Now, a few weeks ago, Midnight Madness made a comment that I was not launching the dice from the same spot every time. So I've been really focusing on that, trying to make sure that I do it. Okay, so this one is going to be a 7 out. If you didn't see it, go back about 10 seconds and you're going to see that not only did I do that, but I did that. And that's even worse than just doing a flick of the wrist. All right, so we are going to pull down our place bets, but the don't pass wins $15. And we're going to just rack that up as winnings and leave $15 up there for the next shooter. Now on this side, we're going to lose that 32 across, and the pass and the don't pass, they're just a wash. All right, so what I did is I just took $32 and paid to leave it up. That way I don't have to waste too much time resetting all the bets. All right, this is a come out roll. Again, on the don't, on the Dewey don't, the only number that's going to hurt us is a 12. Nice and easy. A little short on the landing. It's a 2-1-3. Let's see what happens in the release this time. Oh man, this is embarrassing, guys. It really is. I had no idea that I was releasing like that. All right, so 2-1-3. That is going to be a winner on the one hit can't miss. So there's our one hit. Can't miss now. So we still don't have a point. We still have to establish that one. But over here on the other side, those are a wash. Don't pass wins. Pass line loses. We stay up. All right, here we go. It's a 5-3-8. Also not quite as far out, a little short. I would like to see another inch or so. And you can hear it hitting those orange chips. Again, that's Morton Loban, the guy that we're doing the strategy for on the left-hand side. He's the one that encouraged me to stay up there with chips. Put them out there. Practice with them, because you're going to see them in the casino. All right, so we have a point set. We are going to go up with the $18 on the 6 and the 8. And here we go again. Now, while we're on the subject of a dice gripper, my friend George from CY, he uses a book. It's a city guide for Rome. That's a yo. Here's the replay. Nothing special in that one. Yeah. So he has a book that, and I don't have one handy. I'll just use this. A shout out to Toothpick Ted for the mints. But basically what he'll do is he'll take a book right there and he'll take his dice and push them up against that book. And that's about where he wants his fingers placed. Yeah, perfect. You don't need to go buy a dice gripper or get the wood and mirrors and things like that and make one. Grab a book. Grab a book that basically will be deep enough that your fingers are just going to come over that top row of pips. And you're golden. That's all you need. All right, so what do we have there? 5-1-6. So the 6 is going to win $21, and we are going to rack that. You can see I pulled out a second rack down there. That I'm just going to try and put my winnings down below. I'm going to try to run through this bankroll once and see how well it goes. And we're going to win $7. For that 6. Again, we press the first win. If we hit that number again, we take everything down. Okay, nice and easy. You see that? I did a micro adjustment of my wrist. It wasn't feeling right. And a 4-2-6 on axis. Nice shot. Okay, so that 6 is going to win another $21 over here on the one hit can't miss. Let's see what I do with it. All right, there's $21. I'm going to rack up to $1. Yep, I'm going to rack it all up. So I must have felt like I was behind a little bit, so I'm going to take another win instead of risking it. Over here, that is the second win, so it's going to win $14. I'm going to do 15 for 1 and take down all place bets. You know, Mel over at Craps Hawaii, he would call it staying alive. Get that money, get it off the table, and live to fight with another shooter. All right, so we just have the do we don't on this side. Again, if you're the shooter, I really don't know if they will let you do just a do we don't without some other bets out there. Really don't know the answer to that. But we are active over on the one hit can't miss side. A yo, 5-6 yo. Here we go in slow motion. What can I say? All right, so let's pull the dice back. Point is still on the 8, so we have to leave the puck out there. You know, and when I'm using the dice gripper, it is interesting because I cannot seem to pick up the dice and have the same feel as what I have with that dice gripper. All right, landed where I would like. That was, my landing zone was spot on, and it was a 6-4-10. So yeah, so I was saying, I can't seem to pick up the dice and have the same feel as what I have with the dice gripper. So why do I do it? Well, it's muscle memory. It's practicing what should it feel like when I pick up the dice, and it's just practice. Looks like I'm a little cockeyed right there. Let's see what the results look like. That's all right, 6-3-9. Okay, hit the landing zone where I'd like. Left die went off axis. You ever see a 6 and a 1 on a hardway set, you know your dice are going off axis. And it's not necessarily the end of the world. You know, there's two ways to hit a 7 if you're staying on axis with the hardway set. If one die goes off axis, that's a good thing. All right. Now, one of the things I like to watch with the slow motion is, are my dice really going straight down the path there, right down the pass line? So when I'm setting the dice, there's a really thin bar in between the pass line and the don't pass, and you can see it. You can see it right there, right where the pass line and in between the pass line. That's where I'm setting the dice, and my layout is angled just a little bit. But I'm setting it at the far left end, and I'm landing it at the far right end. So if I'm hitting right near that bar, I know that I'm going pretty straight. Let's see how I do this time. Yeah, right there. I hit that bar right on it. Had a 7 out, of course, but landed where I wanted it to. A lot of bounce after the back wall. Random. On axis. All right, so we're going to lose that place bets for the 6 and the 8, but that don't pass is going to win. All right, so we're going to rack up those the losses, pay out the don't pass, put that money in the bank, leaving $15 up there for the next shooter. All right, so the don't pass wins, the pass line loses, net 0. Don't win, don't lose. So we are back up on the do don't on this side of the table. Now, here's a good opportunity also for me to say, when somebody sends me a strategy and asks me to play it, I usually practice it several times before I actually shoot a video on it. Okay, dice went off the screen, so it's going to be a 10. Yeah, so I shoot it several times just to get comfortable with it before I actually put it on video. And I will have to say, Morton, this one lost more often than it wins. And I was having some incredibly bad rolls. If you're on a hot table, great strategy. If you're on a cold table, it can hurt, and it can hurt quite a bit. And the reason is you're going to be losing that $32 at a time. When you're making only $7 or so on a win, and then you're taking it down, taking your bets down, it takes a lot of wins to recoup a loss, more than I was able to do. All right, so we set a point of 10. Here we go, putting our $32 across. That's $5 on the 4, 5, 9, and 10, $6 on the 6 and 8. Dice are moving. All right, here we go. Set them in the dice gripper. Get a nice good grip on them. All right, let's see how we do. Dice are out. 4, 1, 5. Left die went off axis again. And I could see that green die was flying higher than the red die. And you know, that has to do with my index finger. I think what was happening is as I start to go higher up, my fingers start to relax. And then I think that index finger probably just starts to separate just a little bit, enough to get a little height on the green die. All right, so that was a 5. Didn't win anything on the one hit can't miss, but we are going to win $7 on the Loban strategy. So we've got the 5 pressed up. We need another 5 in order to take down those winnings. Yeah, another micro adjustment. Did you see that? 6, 2, 8. This time it was the red die that went off axis. Let's see if we see what happens to the red die in the air. Actually looked pretty good. The dice flew together pretty well. Just a bad bounce off of the back wall. So it was a bad bounce, but good results. So we're going to win $21 for that 8. And we should rack it up. Yep, back in the back where all the winnings are going. All right, so we need a 5 or an 8 in order to win on this strategy. A little cockeyed right there. Hard 10, primary hit. And I would say I was lucky. The green die was traveling higher than the red die, so I just got lucky on that one. All right, so that is the point. So we're gonna lose our don't pass. Now, there are many ways to play the one hit can't miss. My favorite way actually is I only risk the don't pass. If I happen to get knocked off the point, I bring those place bets back down and save them for another shooter. The reason is the next one, I could 7 out in the next one, and then I've lost my 6 and the 8 as well. So the one hit can't miss is about preservation. It's not about making money. It's about preserving your bankroll until you get to be the shooter again. So that's exactly what I did. I've had action on that shooter. I'm bringing it down. That could bite you from time to time. The shooter could go on, another 10, 15 rolls. Oh well, the idea was to protect that bankroll. All right, ace deuce 3. The red die went off axis. They travel together pretty well, but a lot of explosion off of that back wall, and again, random. Now, I think, I shouldn't say this because I don't know this for a fact, but I believe Bone Thrower, he's done some videos on this. He calls this controlled random. It's basically it's setting and trying to land the same way every time, but it's recognizing that, hey, there is a randomness to this that's hard to control. So do what you can, but it's still a controlled random shot. Landing zone looked good, 538. All right, so again, good results, but it was lucky. The explosion off that back wall, the dice didn't stay together after they hit the deck. They sprayed out quite a bit and came back quite a ways from that back wall. Too much energy in that shot. Maybe it was a little too low. Maybe I should have gone just a little bit higher with that toss. All right, looks like we need a 5, an 8, or a 10 before we can take that money down. And we get a 9. All right, we don't have anything. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. That actually looked pretty good, except for that explosion off the back wall. It's coming back way too far. I don't like seeing that. I don't like good results, bad shot. All right, now we need the 5, 8, 9, or 10, and we'll actually make a little bit of money. Now here's where Loban's strategy actually does work out fairly well. If you have hit several numbers before you start to collect, then when you do collect, you're going to get some bank. Dice are out. 6-5 yo. The red die went off axis. Looked pretty good actually. Didn't come too far off the back wall. Actually, that's a pretty good shot. Even though it went off axis, I don't know that there's much I could have done better on that one. I don't know if you just saw it right there, but it was about maybe 2 inches off the back wall and about an inch away from each other. That's actually a pretty decent shot. That's what I want to replicate every time. Maybe not the 11, but every time. Dice out. 3-2-5 on axis, not bad. Okay, didn't come back too far, a little further away from each other than I would have liked, but not a bad shot. Bad release though. All right, so we won the $15 for that. So we take all of the place bets down, all the way down to just the pass and the don't pass. So we actually made up a little lost ground on this roll. All right, I think we're actually going to call it right here just because of the length of the video is starting to get kind of long. And I apologize. I think I started with the $300 bankroll. Let's see what I do right here. Yeah, I know I started with a $300 bankroll. So one whole row of reds is $100. So we can see I've got three rows right there. So that's my buy-in. Now it's time to color it up. 5, 10, 15, 20, $25. There's a green chip. So the one hit can't miss actually made us some money this time. Even though I told you just a minute ago it's about preservation, it can make some money. All right, so there's 25, there's 35, there's 40, $41. It made us $41 on a $15 table. Not a great return on investment, but you didn't lose any money, and that's what's important. All right, let's check out Loban's strategy and see how well he did. All right, turn the tray so everybody can see it. Again, $300 bankroll on this side. There's the full $300. All right, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we've got a green chip here. Got a few reds. We're actually going to make another green chip. So the Loban strategy is going to win on making money. There's $50, $60, $61. What did I say the other one was? 41? So Loban strategy actually made $20 more, but I feel like there was a lot more at risk with the Loban strategy. So you be the judge. Two different strategies, two different ways to play it. One was meant for a $15 table, the other one on a $5 table. Again, would I play the Loban strategy on this one? Sorry, Morton, probably not. That's a little bit too risky for me. You're not in the game in case you do get a hot shooter, so it's probably not one that I would feel comfortable with putting real money on the line. One hit can't miss, on the other hand, I keep coming back to it. Jacob from Wager Me This talks about his toolbox. This one's in my toolbox. This is one I like to play. All right, guys, so I'd like to hear what you have to say about the slow motion. Do you like seeing it? Is it beneficial to you as a shooter? I sure know it's beneficial to me, but I just don't know if it's really beneficial for you. Leave me some comments below, tell me what you think, and we'll have another video out soon.